welcome to this week's energy forecast. I'm Rachel Thompson-Phillips, the creator of the BU Oracle cards and the Sacred Psychic online program. This week's energy forecast is for March the 11th through to March the 17th. This week's overall theme is happiness is an inside job. Let's see how this unfolds. Monday and Tuesday is the card of transformation. Wednesday through to Friday is the card of pathways, and Saturday and Sunday is the card of contentment. Monday and Tuesday's card, the card of transformation, is about understanding as we go through this transformative phase, we can feel very different, and that can be a little bit alarming. You may be experiencing some symptoms where you may be feeling really fatigued, incredibly exhausted, having moments where you have, due to the fatigue and exhaustion, you may have a little bit of brain fog. You may find it really hard to concentrate. You may even be experiencing moments where when you are sleeping, you are dreaming a lot and none of it really makes a great deal of sense. This can also make us very, very short-tempered. So this is a really important time to understand that you get to decide how you want to show up. You get to decide whether you want to be happy. We can all go through these phases and we can choose how we want to show up at each one of these times. We can learn to accept that yes, we may be feeling exhausted, so we may not need to push as much. So we may need to stay more in flow and stay in tune with what our body requires, which means you don't need to be running around with your head chopped off. Might mean you may need to just slow down a gear, because Mercury retrograde that goes through from March 5th through to March 28th is all about slowing down. Mercury retrograde, the reason that it gets us to slow down is so that we get to learn to have a look at some of to take an observation of our overall life, to be able to make considerations as to whether we are really happy with some of the things that are going on in our world or whether we would like to make some change. By slowing down enables us to be able to become more deeply connected with our internal soul self. When we're so busy, we tend to spend a lot more time inside of our head and less time tuning into that intuitive, soulful place within our beingness. So when Mercury goes retrograde and you're being encouraged to slow down, there is a gorgeous hidden message in there for you if you choose to tune into it. And this is where we get the insight that we get to decide how we want our life to be. You are never defined by your past, so that cannot be used as a gauge to be able to make dictations as to where your life is going in the present now. Because every decision that you make in the current moment is what is defining and starting to set in place your future. So everything begins in the now. So with the transformation card coming through on Monday and Tuesday, please be very patient, be kind with yourself. And remember, even though you're feeling very fatigued or you may be feeling really tired, it doesn't really give us the excuse to be able to snap at everyone. Just be patient with yourself and ask yourself, if you are finding that you are tired and snappy, ask yourself, what is it that you need right now? And then listen for the information that comes through to help guide you through this period of transformation. And remember, our physical body takes the longest part of our beingness to be able to catch up with that transformative phase. So you may have done all this gorgeous inner work, but now the physical body needs to recalibrate itself to be able to come into alignment with all that inner work, and that just takes a little bit of time. Wednesday through till Friday really encourage us to really amp up that happiness element. Have a look around and see where are things that require a little bit of adjustment. It's also understanding that happiness doesn't come from external factors. Happiness is something within. Where are you feeling unhappy in your own self? Where do you feel that you might be letting yourself down? Where do you feel like you might need to be able to take a step up and start moving in the direction that you want to go? This is where I feel like this week is very much around self-accountability, choosing the experiences, choosing how you want to show up within your own self. and recognizing if you may not be feeling in alignment with your own self, what are some of the things that you can do to bring yourself back into balance. And they're not always around doing things. Sometimes they're around your beingness. Who do you need to be? So if you find that you are catching yourself being what I call like the snappy turtle, and this is the moment to catch yourself and decide, is this how you want people to portray? What is underneath that snappiness? Is it that you're not giving to yourself what your soul needs at this time to help move yourself through this transformation phase, or are you making the process a little bit harder? And I feel like by going through and asking these beautiful questions helps us move through to the weekend energy, which is contentment, where we start to come to a place of feeling contented within our own self, because we've gone through and asked those very curious questions, which gives us incredible inner wisdom to gain access into where could we potentially be holding ourselves back by not giving ourselves what it is that we need at this time. And learning to come to a place of being of acceptance within yourself. That is what contentment is about, is learning to accept all parts of yourself. Which means that, yes, we are going to have moments where we could get a little bit upset, a little bit cranky, but it doesn't give us a justification to go in and emotionally beat ourselves up. It gives us the insight to be able to gain a new perspective as to how we would like to be with our own self. And remembering with the year of the pig, it's all around that femininity, flow, and developing and tuning into our intuition. This is where our intuition will come in and give us little gorgeous little droplets of information that says to you, hey, maybe you need to be able to go for that gorgeous little walk, or maybe you need to go and have a little bit of a meditation. Maybe you could find that having, a 20 or 30 minute power nap is all that you need to be able to bring yourself into sync, so that you can continue to feel good about yourself, rather than pushing and forcing and trying to make yourself get through every single day. Remembering that you have different options out there available to you if you learn to tune into that feminine and that intuitive part of yourself. The femininity is about being more gentle and kinder with yourself and staying in flow and alignment. So this week is all around bringing us back into alignment with being happy with our inner world, with who you are as a being. So I really hope that this week gives you some really gorgeous insight on how to be able to work with this energy. Remember, as we find that we go through these transformative phases, there are lots of ways in which you get to support and nurture yourself. Some of the ways that I find that can be really helpful through these times of fatigue is taking vitamin B. Also look at your hydration, and whether you're drinking plenty of water. Also, my favorite is vitamin C, because vitamin C is like the Pac-Man that goes around and helps clear up all of those. As we're doing this inner work, we are releasing toxicities that sat within ourselves. What vitamin C does is it's like the Pac-Man and goes around and eats up all of that toxic waste, rather than waiting for your body to process it and digest it and excrete it. So there's some of the things that I find that can be really helpful. But again, as I said, please just tune into where you feel guided to at this point, and ask yourself, what is it that I can do to help best support myself while I go through this transformation phase? I hope you all have an incredibly wonderful week. Remembering the overall view for this week is about happiness as an inside job. Remember, you are the person that makes you happy, and then anything external that contributes to your happiness is just an added bonus. So have a wonderful week. Much love to you all, and please feel free, if you feel like this is a message that someone that you know would love to hear, please feel free to share it. Take care.